It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
The Health in the Real World podcast is sponsored by...
I'm Erica, and it's my mission to help you take control of your fertility and get pregnant faster.
Hello and welcome to Health in the Real World. I'm Chris Janke, joined today by a repeat guest. This is Erica Hoke. Erica is the infertile mom of 4. If you want to check out Erica's first episode, that aired on June 13th, 2022. Erica, thanks for joining me again.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So what's new in your world since we've last talked? Any new programs? I know you do have a program coming up, right?
Yeah, I do. I have a program launching this week, Accelerate Your Fertility Bootcamp, and it's a 12-week program. So it's pretty unique in that the clients enter into the program based on their cycle week. So I really feel strongly about giving them the tools based on the emotional space that they're occupying. So that's where we get started in the program.
Nice. And so your background, just so, you know, people who haven't seen your first episode, you were told by many doctors that having babies was out of the question, and you have 4.
I do.
Right? You did. Yeah. Talk a little bit about your story, maybe a little bit quicker than you did last time, just so we can get into your program. So people can always go back and watch that first episode if they want to see more.
Sure. Well, at 35, I had 7 reproductive disease diagnosis. And I was told that I not only would need donor eggs, couldn't do IVF. And so I just refused to accept that diagnosis despite all of my other issues going on. I felt strongly that I would be able to get to the bottom of why I wasn't able to get pregnant. And I'm really determined to help other women do the same thing, because there's a lot of hopelessness out there when you're told that you have unexplained infertility, or like myself, IVF was always my backup, and then it wasn't. And I, took a minute, but then I just decided, well, I'm going to give it my best shot and do everything that I can, that is in my control, to get the best possible outcome and see what happens.
Nice. So you had 4 kids after the age of 35.
4 after the age of 35 with stage 4 endo, fibroids, PCOS, all the things, all the acronyms, right?
Right.
Anything that could be wrong reproductively almost with me was wrong. And so I had my first at 36, and then I had twins spontaneously at 39, and I had my last, I had a miscarriage at 41, and then also twins, and then at 43 had my last.
Wow. So you had 4 pregnancies.
All boys. 4 pregnancies. Mm-hmm.
Were there any, so I know, as you know, I've had 4, well, not I, but I have 4 children. Mm-hmm. But I know at 35 and older, they call those geriatric pregnancies,
right?
Higher risk. Were there any complications in any of your births? I mean, I just want to paint as clear a picture for women watching this as possible.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Absolutely perfect pregnancies, of course, because of my age, and also I have a blood clotting condition, which is one of the things that I help women process through, because it's a very common disorder. But factor V Leiden, I was monitored very closely. But other than that, I had great pregnancies, even with my twins, full-term pregnancies, had a VBAC with my last one, which was my best birth ever. And I was really blessed with how well my pregnancies went. I felt great. No, hospitalization, no NICU for my kids.
That's fantastic. Okay, so let's get into this program. So the program is Accelerate Your Fertility Boot Camp.
Yep.
I want to. I think I want to do two main things, and then if you want to do anything, if you have any specific goals, but I want to talk about one, women who you've helped, because you have a very powerful story, and I think it would be great to extend that and maybe talk about one or two women that you've helped as clients. But before that, I want to just make sure that we get everything out on the table. You're not a medical professional.
I'm
So
not.
I want to make sure that people know what they do get and what they don't get. So if you could maybe talk about that real briefly, and then we can talk about some of your case studies of clients.
Yeah. So what they do get is they get empowerment to talk to their medical professionals. They get information on common overlooked testing. So we take a very systematic approach to make sure that everything that could possibly be tested for in a very personalized way, not just a random, way. But what happens a lot of times is that women are told you were tested for everything, or they'll say I was tested for everything, and that's actually not the case. Not only, it's not the case. There's a lot of overlooked testing, and there's a lot of lack of personalization in healthcare, which we all know, right? So this kind of gives my clients laser focus as to what they can hone in on and ask additional questions and ask their providers for a more personalized approach to their care versus what everybody else gets, right? Because these women that come to me are not getting pregnant either through IVF or IUI, or they're not getting pregnant, naturally because they have unexplained infertility. And for some women, that unexplained infertility diagnosis is a hard stop. Like they just kind of go, the doctor can't help me. I don't know what to do. Like, where do I go? Or especially if they can't afford IVF, or if they know that they can't do IVF for personal or religious reasons or any number of things, it kind of really puts a paralysis on women. And so I empower them to work with their insurance and their medical providers to get the care that they deserve, and also take responsibility for making sure that what they have been told is actually accurate.
Got it.
That's one component.
Okay.
Then the other things that I provide are a lot of help with making sure that what they're doing and saying and thinking and feeling align with the outcome that they want. So we do a lot of mindset work. Can I say that? Hopefully that's not a dirty word to your listeners, but
we talk about mindset all the time. So hopefully people can get on board with that. That's huge. That's step one, right? It's
super important. And I give them tools. I'm not a mindset expert by any means. So I have brought in what I call my super friends in the form of AFT practitioners. That stands for Aroma Freedom Technique practitioners that help walk them through a toolbox to help them cope with grieving and loss and anger and frustration, right? Because we need to process that and not just stuff it down. And then EFT, which is tapping for emotional release. And so those practitioners have recorded videos on a variety of topics that they can then go back and review over and over again. And then the last focus of the program is the things that we put on and in our body that we have control over. So it's a systematic detox of food, label reading, healthcare products, personal care products, and controlling and supplements, which is huge because I see over and over again women buying poor quality supplements that are actually causing a lot of toxicity in their body because they're synthetic and they have other things going on. So
yeah, that's huge. Is there a specific nutrient or group of things that manufacturers are putting into products that you really want to look out for, like big red flags?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. There are two huge red flags that you can look at and in terms of supplements. The first one is, over the years, it's been a big push for folic acid. So folic acid is actually a synthetic form of folate, which is good. That you want the folate. We do want to supplement folate in a prenatal. But if you have undiagnosed conditions like MTHFR, which is a methylation problem. That's probably a topic for another day. But if you have MTHFR and you're having a problem methylating, detoxing that through your cell, the folic acid is really toxic to your system. So we want folate, and then the B vitamins. Often you can very easily look at the B vitamins on a prenatal or what am I trying to say? A vitamin, a daily vitamin. I can't think of the right word, but it'll say either methylcobalamin, that's the good one. We want it to be methylated, or cyanocobalamin, and that is actually a small dose of cyanide. So the synthetic form of B vitamin is in fact cyanide in small dosage. So you can see how somebody who has let's say sensitive system or has an undiagnosed MTHFR where their body is having a hard time detoxing anyway, just that daily dose of the cyanide, it's actually cyanide, it's crazy, can really cause a problem in their body.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. And I would imagine, so let's transition actually to your program. So Accelerate Your Fertility Boot Camp. These are all things that you, I imagine, talk to your clients about as well, right? About
absolutely,
what to eliminate in your environment. Let's go. Can we do a zoom in on one of your clients? Obviously, no names, but so and so. Maybe they came in. Just maybe tell a story or two about what you've seen in your program with your clients.
Yeah, it's a new program and we are doing case studies. But what I've seen from my clients is that they have such a feeling of relief because there is just so much information out there and it's so hard to know what the right direction is. And so what we do is we give them a very focused plan as to what their next steps are, what the best next steps are for them to take so that they know that they are checking the boxes and that they're getting the care that they receive. Even just knowing that there could be overlooked testing, so I had a client that had some overlooked testing and she just was so relieved that she had something to take back to her doctor to just have a next step to take because it seemed like she was at a dead end. Those are the kind of things that are really helpful to my clients. So
something just popped into my head as you were talking, that she had something to take back to her doctor. I don't want anybody listening to this to think that, oh, you're trying to like subvert the medical system or anything. It's that you're really working with these doctors. If there's a doctor who really legitimately believes that they've done all the tests, but you've seen something or, because this is your area of research, you're really diving into this. If there's something that a well-meaning doctor just missed, then, hey, why don't you maybe try this? And then that doctor can take it from there as far as running those tests and maybe offering a different diagnosis, potentially.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I have seen it in cases. I had a client who lost her opportunity to use her own eggs. She had very low egg reserve and her husband's sperm was tested, but they didn't do a comprehensive panel on his sperm. And so, the check boxes of motility, morphology, and, the 3 M's, all looked good, but they didn't do the comprehensive panel. Come to find out after, and this was actual, pre-client, but she came to me and she said, he actually said to me after they had used up all my eggs, she only had 6 or 8. well, maybe we should run this test now. She had had 3 miscarriages. She had no more eggs left. She ended up happily, using donor eggs. They got to the family of their dreams. But the one test that they could have done could have spared her from 3 miscarriages, could have potentially given them the opportunity to use their own eggs. And so, I am not anti-medicine. I'm not anti-doctor. I had a lot of surgeries myself to correct, some of the diseases in my own body. But when you hear stories like that, where it would have just been a simple test that, hey, let's trigger that while we still have opportunity, not after the fact. That's what I'm trying to circumvent. That I'm trying to educate my clients so that they don't have to go through that, that pain of knowing if only, right? So.
Right. Yeah, very important. So again, it's a 12-week program. It starts, this episode will be airing after this, but starts July 1st of this year.
Yeah, it starts July 1st, and it's just it's an ongoing program with group coaching. So you can enter the program at any time. So it's self-led, self-directed, 12 weeks with 2 live group coachings a month where we can, hash out any questions in person. And then I also have a Facebook support group as well, where questions can be asked there collectively for everybody's benefit too. So.
Nice. The Facebook support group, what is that called?
It's Accelerate Your Fertility Bootcamp Student Group.
Okay. They get put into that group once they join.
Yes, but
Gotcha.
I do have a free group that I run, which is Infertility Empowered, that you can come in. I'm doing a training, and it'll be in the guide section because your viewers are going to be seeing this after the fact. But I do trainings on things like the Factor V lighting, where I do a deep dive about how that affects not only primary fertility, secondary infertility, miscarriages. I'm doing a training tomorrow that'll be in the guide section, that'll be free, that has how infertility and gut health are connected, and why that's a strong place to start if you're experiencing infertility, is rehabbing your gut and healing those leaky gut symptoms.
That's huge. Wow.
Yeah.
Some great information. Is there, so somebody who is interested in this, how do they contact you if they either have more questions or if they want to join your group?
They can reach out to me through my website. It's ericahoke.com. That's HOKE. And the application for the course is on there as well for the boot camp. I want to make sure that we're a good fit. I want to make sure people entering the program, I feel like, can have a positive outcome and move the needle forward on their healthcare journey, and hopefully get pregnant. That's the outcome that we're desiring. But like you were saying, can't promise that, unfortunately. But yeah, through the website. Sorry, I didn't hear everything you said because my kids are screaming in the background. So
that's all right. Well, you worked diligently to get those children, and it's all worth it. But no, I know that feeling. I have 2 of my kids are here on summer break. They're quiet right now. But
right, did I answer your question? I guess
you did. Yeah, mainly how to contact you. I want to say just one more thing. Just my overall belief system is that the human body is an absolutely amazing machine, more than a machine, right? It's amazing, the complexity of it. And oftentimes living in this modern world with like you said, the synthetics, the pollution, the stress, all these other things that can put a damper on. Nice. All right, she just got a record on Crossy Road. There we go. Can interfere with Mother Nature's genius. And sometimes it's not a matter of fixing something, but it's a matter of just like getting the bad stuff out of the way and stopping that. And I've seen that a lot with with specifically back pain in what I do. You know, people have back pain. We shouldn't have back pain. And it seems like you're doing something very similar. It's like, no, let's just clean things up, right? And you have a lot of experience helping people do that. So I appreciate you being on again. And it's a great mission. I mean, what better mission than to help people, you know, have kids? It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so passionate about just, you know, trying to get this information out. So I appreciate you having me on, because, you know, just because a doctor tells you that they can't help you, it doesn't mean that you can't get pregnant. And I want people to know, I want women to know that they can be empowered in their choices and make a difference in their own fertility.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and I would add, like, anyone watching this, if your doctor is pushing back against things like this, then that's not a good sign. I would say you know, doctors should be open to second opinions, second tests, clients, patients taking their own health into their own hands. And this is, I think, leading to a better healthcare system where each individual has more of personal responsibility, because this is your body, and literally nobody else knows more, has more responsibility over your own body than you do. And so it's a matter of getting that doctor's opinion and getting more information and bringing those together. So I think that's a great combination.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. I 100% agree, and it definitely should be a collaborative process with your doctor. So yeah, something we talk about a lot. So
nice. Well, again, thanks, Erica, for joining. Any last words before we head out, or?
Yeah, I just want to mention my book. It's right here behind me. If you want some more information, want some stories of success, it's Infertility Success, Stories of Help and Hope for Your Journey. It's 20 of us that have written out our stories, a variety of different scenarios in terms of what kind of infertility we face. But every chapter has a QR code that you can scan at the end to get in touch with the author of that chapter with resources. And so, you know, we all said that if we only helped one person with this book, we would write it all over again. But we're all very passionate about, you know, providing as many resources to the community as possible so that they can move forward.
Well, thank you so much. Again, this is Erica Hope joining me today on Health in the Real World. Thanks, Erica.
Thanks for listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.